Attraction, March 10th, 2019. March Madness takes its toll.
Let's begin with wisdom from Doctor Who said, "The universe is big. It's vast and it's complicated and ridiculous. And sometimes, although very rarely, impossible things just happen, and we call them miracles." Now it's March, so he must have been thinking about March Madness. There are more miracles in March than any other time of the year.
And more madness. On the subject of madness, Riff Raff the Butler said, "It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll."
Good idea. Let's do the time warp again.
It's just a jump to the left and a step to the right.
Well, it's actually even easier than that. You just set your clock forward 1 hour and voila, time warp.
I believe that is called daylight savings time.
Well, perhaps, but what are we trying to save it from?
We save it from experiencing time as a constant. Time is not a constant. It's our cheap illusion that we think that time is a constant. It is not. Please see our chief illusionist for details. That's Mark Jeffers.
You know, I don't think we have time for details on temporal theory.
We should. Didn't we just save an hour?
No, we lost it.
Well, there's no better way to lose it than here at Roadside Attraction. We've got stories and songs, a time warp, our signature attraction, a 2,000-pound groundhog, that's me, and the only really tough-minded thinking for 200 miles.
Now, I know some people who can keep time. Matt Byanski and Red Baumgardner. They're called Mini Bingo.
One more thought about March Madness. This one from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who said, "Don't ever forget that you play with your soul as well as your body."
Well, would you gentlemen care to demonstrate?
Excelsior, you never said goodbye. Excelsior, you haunted my dream. I looked at you and I understood the truth is worth the find. And I'm not home yet, but I'm getting there. Excelsior, you're a lion among the stars. Excelsior, I found your treasure there. Hills are made of golden sand, got you by my side, riding with a caravan, watching sugar fly, watching sugar flies tear apart the broken sky. Excelsior, the eagles Excelsior, my eyes are glowing still. Sit beside my window, stone in my hand. The morning light awakes me and I don't know who I am. And sobbing I watched him fly straight into the sun. And I'm not home yet. No, I'm not home yet. No, I'm not home yet. But I'm getting there.
Oh, guys, that was pretty.
Thank you.
You want to tell us a little bit about that song, man?
So that's a song. It's about a good friend of mine who passed away, and yeah, there's a lot to it. I don't know if I have much time for that.
That's all right.
It's kind of maddening.
Well, thank you. How about a little traveling music?
You're listening to Roadside Attraction, brought to you by the Future Works, your one-stop supplier for post-digital era. We sell firewood and matches, and by
the packing plant by the river. Our hot dogs taste like catfish liver. Still the customers come. God love them, they're dumb. Through the open doors to the killing floors. Well, it's a ding-dang-dong. Gimme, dimmy, gimme, gimme, dimmy, gimme, gimme, Dimmy Jean.
Hello again, y'all know me. I'm Dimmy Jean, work down at the packing plant by the river, and I just want to give a big old shout out to all our loyal customers. God love them, they are dumb. And to let everybody know that we are experiencing beautiful growth because of our innovative products. Hamburger and a drum sales are up 7%. All fish hot dog sales went way up after our chief accountant's finger got packaged in with a package of them, and we had that lost finger lotto contest, you know, but sales fell right off after the finger got found. Congratulations to Chris Dunkey from Charlieville, who bought up every package in every gas station, convenience store, and mini mart in Charlieville, which was only a couple hundred packages, but it paid off big because Chris is suing us for $10 million. And it all happened when we still had insurance, so we're all winners. I'd also like to point out that no matter what you read on them social media, Dimmy Jean Products did not tip anybody off as to the likely location of the finger. And yeah, Chris is my daughter's boyfriend, but technically he ain't family, but it's not prohibited by the rules as set forth. Okay, even though sales are generally up, they are not up enough to suit our board of directors and our investors. These are people with a lot of money who put up a little of that money, and now they get to order everybody around, and they're out there going, more, that ain't enough. And they're saying, you need to think outside the box. And, you know, I just get tired of that. I'd like to get even with them guys. They're always saying, identify a need. What do people want? So I asked the boys down at the packing plant what they want, and every damn one of them said the same thing. I want to get even. Well, that's what I want too. So we had a focus group and a brainstorming session, and somebody said, hey, send them something that stinks. So what I did, well, look, you got to figure there's a pretty big mess on the floor down here at the packing plant, which we usually just wash off into the river late at night. But what I did is I scooped up some of that slop and I put it in a sealed top bag and I set it outside in the sun for a couple of weeks till it got what you might call ripe. And then I sent it to the board of directors, knowing that when they opened it, it was smell that came out of there that might nearly kill them. Okay, dumb idea. I was drunk. And yeah, I know since some time passed between packing it and shipping it, that just means I was drunk at least twice, okay. But you got to figure I have stepped in some doo-doo, which is something I do every day, but I got out of trouble by thinking outside the box. I said, ladies and gentlemen on the board, that stink was just a demonstration of a new revenue stream. All along here, we've done good business by making things and selling them to people, but I finally woke up to the idea that America is a service economy, which is good for banks and insurance companies and such, but not so much for people that make things, people like us. So I thought, what service can we offer? What can we do? Send them something that stinks. I promise you it will not go unnoticed. So next time you want to get even with somebody, stop on down to the packing plant, come to the back door, ask for Dimmy Jean and say, I want to send them something that stinks.
All Stinks deliveries are made by street urchins we hired to sidestep postal regulations. Be advised that Stinks products are not only revolting, they are probably toxic. Long-term loss of taste buds and sense of smell have been reported. We've referenced airborne toxic events in previous disclaimers. This is one of those. If you receive a Stinks product, please know that someone out there is really pissed at you, and they're crazy. Just because they're crazy doesn't mean you don't deserve it. Maybe you should ask yourself who you screwed over. Yeah, think about it. Who's the jerk here? Dimmy Jean Services is a wholly owned subsidiary of Dimmy Jean Products, and neither company is responsible. Period.
Dimmy, Dimmy, gimme, gimme, Dimmy, gimme, gimme, Dimmy Jean.
Well, by gosh, there is just no end to the innovative ideas that people can dream up. But just because you can dream it doesn't mean you should do it. Now, I wish I didn't even have to know about that kind of thing, but those are our sponsors. They bought that ad spot on the ad exchange, so I guess they can say what they want. And just so you know, the fact that you heard it means we made 0.0017 cents.
Madness takes its toll.
What's everyone all worked up about now?
Well, it's March, and speaking as the 2,000-pound groundhog, I want to say that winter has gone on too long. I've had enough, and I'm moving south. I'm going to Georgia.
Well, I get it, but here's the deal with March, you see. Allow basketball to distract you, and when that's over, it's spring. In the meantime, we'll bring Georgia to you.
How are you going to do that?
Well, that's easy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Georgia Gode.
of things you'd lost, and you could remind me of things I forgot.
Georgia Gode, everybody. Now, Georgia will be playing a full set for Live at Yellow Cab, which will start right after Roadside Attraction. You can get links to this show and Georgia's full set at roadsideattractionlive.com. Follow the links to the Podbean player. Past shows are there, too.
You can find treasures there for those who search. The American landscape. Anna Baum. We're a regular warehouse of authenticity.
And in that warehouse is a filing cabinet of competing ideas. Now, if you came to Roadside Attraction for the cotton candy, you'll want to readjust your thinking. Paula Unrau can help with that.
Hi, this is Demeter's Despair. Demeter was the goddess of plenty. I once moved like a woman with strong legs breasting the prairie, a Demeter holding victorious a feast of sandhill plums. But lately, old depravities have been rising like bog bodies with cords still round their necks, chthonic ghosts and savage mysteries, old bones we thought buried and fossilized into strong foundations, rise, breach the thin fertile crust, their horror still intact. Once again, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The ancient gods are dead and cannot intercede, the heroes all unstrung. Prayer is last night's dying fire, and hope the dog banished from the hearth. In prone embrace I sleep upon the earth and wonder her dark histories. Long ago, King Priam kissed the hands of Achilles, the man who killed his most beloved son, and begged the return of the rotting corpse that he might kiss its brow and lay it down with proper rites to be remembered, that he might build a burial mound so high it would be seen for miles and for centuries and be remembered. A mound of dirt is hardly recompense, but the membering and remembering of histories of everything that falls apart, the broken voice, the broken soul, the broken state, is an essay toward redress. A goddess of memory and boneyards, I am ready to labor through middens and scavenge for small remains. I will add a pebble to each marker and memorize the scratches made by fingernails upon the walls. When I meet the old king, I will kneel, fold his withered hands in mine, and say, I remember. Woo-hoo.
You're listening to Roadside Attraction, recorded live at Yellow Cab Tavern in Dayton, Ohio. We are the intersection where raccoons compete with possums and groundhogs for dominance in storm sewers. That generates a special energy that manifests in humans as poetry. The invisible influences the audible more often than you imagine. Welcome to Dayton.
Now, hidden in plain sight at Roadside Attraction is the Oracle booth. Now, Georgia Gode hangs out there, and she'd like to have another word with you.
I found my soul deep in the narrows. Have you ever told the people what you did? The land doesn't care, the river has no will, but I remember against my will it's still hers. I never could admit what I'd let down. Mother raised me stronger, suddenly undone. Da-da-da-da. In the summer of July, in a heat of a whiskey rye, the song never changes. We dance the same old tune, and I asked for patience, and you demanded love. The train had left the station, a one-way ticket from home. Some things just laugh, words so heavy, I wish I'd never asked. Were we ever not missing? So come on, brother, I'm standing on the road. Save me from my lover, or myself I'll never know. I'll never, never know. I'll never, never know. I'll never, never know. I'll never know.
Now, the thing about spirits, now whether we're talking about bottled spirits or the force that animates life, spirits become richer and more complex when they age. They deliver tastes and aftertastes that are more subtle and rare. Fine spirits are to be savored. Another case in point, Bill Mooney.
Whoa. I'm just going to do two short little poems. The first one's called The Cello. When the Titanic sank, the cellist played, Nearer, My God, to Thee. The musician went down along with the ship, but the cello bobbed in the sea. Although the hymn may have been unheard, it is plain to see that among the debris, the cello remained, Nearer, My God, to Thee. And the next one is called In Memory of the Flower. From root to stem where the green thorn grows, and on to bud from which the flower shows, then darkened petals glide as the old wind blows, to ground returned, shrouded by the silent snows. From earth to earth the spirit flows, but tell me, where goes the fragrance of the rose?
Thank you, Bill. Now, young voices can also be rare and subtle. An old spirit like a whiskey is made brighter by a twist of fresh orange and perhaps a little cinnamon spice. Now here's Hannah Peterangelo with a bit of audio mixology.
Hello.
Big eight-wheeler rolling down the track means your true loving mama ain't coming back. I'm moving on, I'll soon be gone. You were flying too high for my little sky, so I'm moving on. The big loud whistle as it blew and blew means hello to the south when we're coming to you. We're moving on. Oh, hear my song. You had the laugh on me, so I've set you free, and I'm moving on. true loving mama ain't a-coming back. I'm moving on. I'll soon be gone. You were flying too high for my little sky, so I'm moving on. Moving on. I'll soon be gone.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Turn on the radio. It's time for the Charlieville report.
Well, okay, but it's actually a podcast, so it doesn't answer to time like the radio does.
Oh, it's happening in that hour we lost.
It's just there in the field of potential until you click play.
Drinking and driving. I stopped down to Big Charlie's Tavern last night for some cheeseburgers and camaraderie and learned, much to my surprise, and at the cost of several dollars, that my once impressive 8-ball game has suffered from decades of neglect. I have resolved to correct that situation. Used to be I could hold a table all night in the $2 games where the winner keeps playing and the challengers put money in the coin slots. One summer that seems like not so long ago, I managed to make a living shooting pool, driving into the low-life joints in the city, finessing shots with crooked sticks on 6-foot tables with beer-stained felt, and winning money from willing losers who were distracted by dancing girls and pool shooting impaired by the quality and quantity of their beverages. Last night, I scratched on the 8-ball 3 times and missed shots I could have made behind my back in the days when I could hold my liquor. Now I watch the young guy with a carefree laugh fill his pockets with dollar bills and keep on shooting. I lost $30 before I learned my lesson and wound up sitting at the bar with my old buddy and neighbor, Dagwood, from Blondie's Cafe. He said,
I got a rule for shooting pool. Well, I learned it from you. You always used to say, here's the first rule. If you can't feel it, aim. And I remember that. That's what I do with a lot of things. It works most of the time. I have a corollary to this rule, too. It goes, if you can't remember the first rule, quit. That second rule saved me a lot of money.
We laughed and talked at the bar, and it seemed like the good old days were back on the bar stool there in the tavern. And then I yawned a couple of times, and then I yawned some more, and I decided it was time to go. I ordered a cup of ghastly coffee from the bar. Then I tipped my bartender and said my goodnights and stepped out into the night. And when I got to the car, I put the coffee cup on the car hood, reached into my jacket pocket, and then I discovered I had lost my keys. I had barely begun to enter that state of dread that losing your keys will occasion when I heard Dagwood's voice coming up behind me saying,
You didn't lose them. I picked your pocket.
He showed me the keys and then stuck them in his pocket.
See, I'm one of those people who don't believe in drinking and driving.
He said, and then he took the coffee off the hood of my car and threw it in a trash bin. I said, what's on your mind here, Dagwood? And he said,
Well, a couple of months ago, I got together with a friend of mine from college, Sarah. Sarah's a chemist, food chemist. She makes a lot of artificial flavors for a living, and she said to me, Dagwood, you should be a scientist. I said, why is that? Sarah said, because you have a unique ability to see A to see B while everybody is seeing A. Now, I told her that I appreciated that compliment, but I'd rather be an artist. I don't want to make no artificial flavors. I'm a cook. Why would I want to make artificial flavors when I can make real flavors? Nevertheless, I made up my mind to apply my unique ability whenever possible. Let's take the present situation, for example, which is drinking and driving. And we'll just start out by admitting to ourselves that drinking and driving is not something we should be doing. There is general agreement on this subject, and there are plenty of people who are righteous and passionate about it, and I have to agree with them up to a point. But the problem won't go away. See, they're looking at A when they should be looking at B.
Dagwood reached into his jacket pocket and took out 2 cans of beer. He popped the top and handed one to me, and then he said,
"The problem with drinking ain't drinking. It's driving. Practically every culture in history discovered alcohol independently. Why, drinking has been part of the ritual celebration all over the world. Makes you feel good taken in moderation, which is what was intended. Well, people have been drinking for more than 2,000 years. We've only been driving for 100. Driving's done a lot more damage to the world than drinking ever did. Why, just look at pollution and automobile-induced alienation. All the modern cities of the world are built around driving. The great cities of the world, cities with character, were built for walking. Everybody says that drinking affects your perception. Nobody says driving affects your perception, but it sure does. Driving changes our perception of space and time a much deeper and a much more permanent way than drinking. Well, you can drive across town half an hour, pass through neighborhoods and people's lives and never notice. You can drive across a continent in a few days and never really experience the places you've been. Well, that's a serious time-space distortion. It really is. Have you ever noticed that? Come on, buddy, we're walking home.
We started walking down the streets of Charlieville, heading home. The night air was cool and refreshing.
"Look there, man,"
said Dagwood, pointing to the sky.
"Well, that's Jupiter. You wouldn't see that from your car. That's the brightest star in the sky right now. Most of the stars we can't even see because of the light pollution from the city. Well, if you're going to drive, you got to have street lights. We're the first generation that grew up without ever being able to see the stars. What do you suppose that's done to us? The first rule in life, as I see it, is to notice where you are and what's around you. And driving violates that rule. It surely does. The way I see it, when you can't remember the first rule, it's time to quit."
All right, folks. Roadside Attraction is over, but the madness is about to begin. It happens every March. Some of it has to do with basketball, and some of it has to do with the fact that winter has just come and gone on and on. But cheer up. The next time we meet, it'll be spring, after March Madness takes its toll.
A special thank you to the Yellow Cab Tavern for hosting the IRL version of Roadside Attraction. And to Tara Moore. Cue those camera guys. See Tara Moore for beer and pretzels. Do so frequently. Mark Jeffers is our host on the podcast and our host of Yellow Cab. Mark and Tara make it all possible. Come in for Showcase Thursdays too. It's a singer-songwriter listening room hosted by Windsor Knots. It's always good and often great. The aforementioned Windsor Knots is also our musical director, stage manager, sound tech, and backup guitar player at Roadside Attraction. Our featured performer today was Georgia Gode. She'll be playing again in a moment on the Live at Yellow Cab segment. We heard from Minnie Bingo, a.k.a. Matt Byanski, and Bryan Baumgardner, a.k.a. Red. And Hannah Peterangelo crafted some sweet sounds for us. This version of the Roadside Band was Kyleen Downes on lead guitar, Marceia Cornwell on bass, and doing the drumming was Winegar. Scott Millsop wrote, produced, and directed Roadside Attraction. He was also Dimmy Jean. God love him, he's dumb. And then he filed a report from Charlieville. Paula, Unrau, and Bill Mooney were our visiting poets. We understand that ideas are energy beings that think for you, and we encourage you to hit the back button on the podcast player to rethink them. Jeff Bob set up the sounds. This room is Jeff's room. Charlie Parker brought us lights and post-production services. He is visitor 29. Brandon Berry is running a television production on this thing, thus adding a dimension and illustrating an earlier discussion about parallel dimensions. I'm Molly Millsop, the voice of the 2,000-pound groundhog. This is the March 2019 edition. Go Hoosiers!
Go Hoosiers! Go Flyers!
Roadside Attraction is an AHA production.
Yes, it is.
Nicely done, groundhog.
All right, all right.